Real talk, the metaphor messiah, man. I got this one. Let's go. You ever seen the morning star? Mr. Metaphor Messiah, back to show you who we are. I represent a legacy, a pothead like the 70s, a different kind of mind. They say we only speak in melodies. Legend in the game.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Winter is here, and so are we. That's right, it's the Lord Vega and your boy, Dead on Dave. We are here for your Game of Thrones review, recap, spoilers. Don't cry, don't whine. I know my thumbnail already made a couple people cry. Fucking boo-hoo. Cover your eyes. I don't give a shit because, Jesus Christ, Vega. Whoo! Shit's getting real, man. We're getting close to the end of the season, and shit is popping off. Of course, a lot of us got to see it a little bit early because Christmas morning, fuck it. Let me open my presents because now everything's getting leaked every day early and all this stuff. We're going to talk about all of that and a whole hell of a lot more. Of course, joining me is the man that you're really here to see. Look at this beautiful bald motherfucker right here. The Lord Vega.
What's up, bitch? What's up, bitches?
I'm fucking dying.
Dude, that shit was, God, I love that episode. I had such a fucking hard on.
You know, I kind of hate you because I wasn't going to break. I wasn't breaking. I was going to wait until Sunday. You broke me.
I had to do it. It was traveling around the circuit behind the scenes, and somehow it landed on my lap. Somebody gave it to me. I won't expose the names, but somebody dropped it in my lap because
I had so many
we are
people
both
drop
obsessed with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, and I got it. I got 4 different links within an hour. Everyone, and then I was like, no, I'm good. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna wait. And then Vega's like, triple orgasms. I was like, fuck, that good? He goes, yeah. I'm like, fuck. So I watched it, and I was like, oh my god. Best episode of the season? What do you think?
I don't know about the best episode of the season. It was up there just because of like the climax, and I mean that battle. You kind of had the impression that nobody was gonna get it until you know what happened. But you know,
we can
discuss that when we get to it.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's the best one. I don't think it's the best one. Maybe the loot train attack was pretty, surprising to me anyway.
I think when it was at its best in this episode, I think the biggest things that we've seen this season happen in this episode, the things that are probably most important happen in this episode. A lot of this season has been a lot of setup, and we got a lot of fucking payoff in this episode. There's a lot to talk about. We're going to go through basically situation by situation because this episode bounced around a lot, back and forth. It felt very different than a lot of Game of Thrones episodes that we see where the kind of, it seemed there was a lot going on and everything once again was just boom, 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 boom. But so much fun. Vega, where are we starting this week, man?
We could start by getting rid of this stupid fucking side story. In my opinion, this stupid fucking side story is not going anywhere unless I got a theory we could talk about after we kind of describe what's going on. But the Arya, Sansa, and the Littlefinger kind of side plot that Brienne kind of got drug into.
Right.
But that whole thing turned out to just be this fucking little sibling rivalry that's kind of getting a little serious, like to the point where she's got a knife and she's pointing it to her, then she flips it and hands it off. I'm like, these girls are crazy, dude. Right. Like these aren't the chicks you want to date when they grow up.
No, you don't.
These aren't the ones you want to take to prom.
No.
Yeah, they don't have a big brother like you would want to meet John and rather go out to date with fucking John than these girls, dude.
Right, and turns out John's not even the real fucking brother. All of the real brothers are either dead or in fucking insane because they're part of a tree now or some shit. It's fuck. It's like, no, thanks.
Bran's creepy little ass. Oh god. Anyway, yeah. So the Arya and Sansa situation.
Yes.
I think we started off with the whole letter reading point.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we finally got to see what the letter was. I tried to pause it last week and see exactly what the letter was. Didn't really get to read the entire thing, but seeing that it was just, I thought it was stupid. I got to be honest. I thought the whole goddamn thing was contrived. And what was the point of it? Who the fuck cares what she wrote way back then? They have solidified power there in the North. I don't really see it being that big of a deal, even if it did fucking come out. I don't understand what Littlefinger's endgame is other than to break up the sisters' bond, which just barely came into play anyway. I don't know, man. The whole fucking thing is just weird and strange. The most important thing that I saw that happen was the dagger. The dagger, the dagger, the dagger. They are making a big fucking deal about this dagger. Bran gave Arya that dagger. He's the three-eyed raven. If he gave her that dagger, it was for a fucking purpose. It was for a reason. He didn't just give the dagger to her for no guy. Not because what good does a cripple do? No. He put that dagger in her hand for a reason. And now she's threatening Sansa with it. Now she's physically giving it to Sansa. Why? What is up with this dagger? It's going to do something important by the end of this fucking season. I can feel it. Hopefully stab Littlefinger in the fucking heart, but I don't know.
I agree. I think we talked about that after the episode at the house that I was at. We said there's something up with this dagger. They won't fucking let it go. There's no reason why you have it printed and then film it. That one episode where Sam was going through and we saw the dagger for a brief moment.
Right.
And then he turned the page. Then this dagger's handed off to Bran. Bran hands it off to her. She hands it off to Sansa. Like, fuck off, dude. Like, I can't go into the episode with that dagger without it being shoved into somebody's throat or something, you know?
Right.
Like, I don't know. It's just, you're correct for sure.
Yeah.
There's something going on with that dagger. And if they wind up that you never see a dagger again, fuck that, dude. Just turn it into Walking Dead.
It's pretty ridiculous. It's like I don't understand. Hopefully there's going to be a payoff with the dagger, but it better be good. Yeah. What's the payoff with the storyline? Because this whole thing with Littlefinger, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. Is it just about power now? I mean, what is this? What's the fucking point of this? Because it seems like he could have gotten what he wanted a while back. Like if he wanted control, could have took fucking control. He doesn't really seem to need to be able to play these games with the sisters the way that he's doing. What's the point here?
Now he's got a big problem, in my opinion. If you look at the big picture of where he's at, like from his perspective, before Jon came back, or not came back, before he was declared king of the North and all this stuff, there was a little bit of okay, I might be able to sneak in here, maybe marry Sansa if I could do it just right. And then I would be, because he's a bastard, you know, I would at least be Warden of the North and at least hold the seat. And then in the future, I might be able to work my way into the Iron Throne because he's already made that clear. He wants that, right?
Right. It seems like it, but
now he needs to do something to start tearing this family apart in order for him to, because he has his knights there, right? And there's not much for him to go back to the Vale with because, I mean, we've already decided this entire giant war is happening.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Nobody can escape it. So even I'm pretty sure anyway, in my opinion, even the Knights and little Rob Aaron, wherever the fuck he's at right now.
Rob was sucking on a new titty. I don't know. Maybe he found a new titty. I don't know.
Probably, yeah. That's weird too, huh? He's just gone, you know? But anyway, to me, he's trying to play, if we saw inside the episode, I always bring it up because it's the actual writers and directors talking, right? So what they're saying is, in the inside the episode was, Littlefinger sees this as an opportunity to kind of soak up whatever Sansa has to say, you know, and he's gauging the playing field in order to see where he can get to. But he's the one that orchestrated this whole thing in the first place.
Right.
So for him to actually walk over and try to defend Arya, or at least present an argument to Sansa to be like, that's your sister, you can trust her. It's showing, you know, that at least this person is a little bit more trustworthy rather than saying, you know, yeah, fuck her, she's just trying to play you. Yeah. That would automatically turn her, you know, it's just like real life, Dave. You know what I mean? If somebody's backing somebody else up, you could trust them a little bit more because they're trying to give you a perspective on somebody else rather than taking your side and being like, fuck them, makes you think that something's wrong with this person.
Of course.
You know? Yeah, so that's what the impression they're trying to give, you know, is Littlefinger's trying to sneak in there because he created this conflict where there really wasn't. It was just mostly shit talk.
Yeah.
But now he's actually created a real problem.
He has created a serious problem, and because he wants to be the one to solve it. I think Captain Kirsch in the chat might be 100% right. I think there might be more overthinking this than there might be actually to it. He might just want Sansa. I think that at this point, I don't know if his aspirations of sitting on the Iron Throne are even somewhat logical. Because even if he marries Sansa, he has to kill Sansa to really have any power in the North. You know, they're backing Sansa. And if they're not going to back Sansa, they're certainly going to continue to back Jon Snow, at least until it turns out that he's a fucking Targaryen, which I think is coming really fucking soon, by the way. Really,
you know, it's going to be Bran's stupid ass, like at a dinner table, And then somebody's like, the king of the north, thank God you went up north, and now this and that. And Brandon's gonna be like, he's not the king. He's
he's
like
not
half
the king of
Stark,
the
half
north.
Targaryen, guys. And he's just gonna waddle away, or he's gonna fucking wheel his ass away like nothing happened.
Your mother was so beautiful when she died, when she gave birth to you. After
you should have seen her vagina. It was crazy.
her vagina was bleeding and dripping everywhere. It was quite a wonderful night, John. What the fuck? Unbelievable.
You look so beautiful that night.
But yeah, I'm waiting for all that to come to a head, and I think it's going to happen really soon. This storyline is doing nothing. It's for me. It's so contrived. The best thing that happened, the best thing I thought was Arya getting into Sansa's ass and bringing up my little favorite Bear Queen, the leader of Bear Island over there. Do you think that you could tell little Lyanna Mormont about that you were just a child? Like, good fucking point.
Oh, that was a good line.
That was a great line. It was a great line.
Yeah.
But it's still, the whole argument seems stupid. And
shut up and take
Super Tobes with a $1 donation. Fuck the Night King. Thank you very much, Super Tobes. Fuck the Night King indeed. All right, so anything else on this boring ass going nowhere topic?
I think that my theory is Littlefinger is dead and she's playing both sides.
Ooh.
And that's when I'm saying, not playing both sides. What I think she's doing is she already sees the game. So she's like, fuck it. I'm just going to get rid of him. We don't need him. I can wear his face, play the role, and then I can at least try to smooth things out with my sister or just control my sister.
When did she
for the
kill
time
him?
being, because she's got no mission right now.
When do you think
can't
she
go
killed
anywhere.
him?
Well, tell me this: how can a girl lose her eyesight and function and fight a girl in pitch black darkness? That's this, the waif of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then she doesn't realize when she's a master assassin. When
Right.
she walks out of the room, she doesn't realize that Littlefinger's hiding on a wall, not even behind a wall. Like, he's on a wall in the hall. Like, she doesn't know that. Come on, dude. That's my personal thing that I think that would make this infinitely more interesting. And my buddy after the show was like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any. Why he's been on this show for that long, and we're just gonna lose him off screen like that? And I'm like, dude, honestly, we lost. Thoros was one of the greatest warriors in history as far as like storytelling, right? He went to the breach with a flaming sword and all that, and he winds up being a drunk that dies because he got bit by a bear and he went to sleep and didn't wake up.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones does not give a fuck about that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Stannis died off screen. I mean, there's precedent for it. It's not like it would be the worst thing that they've done as far as killing characters off screen. At least this would have some sort of a purpose. It would be a hell of a shock if fucking, let's say Sansa finally kisses Littlefinger and then Arya takes off the fucking face. I mean,
it'd be so good.
Ooh.
Yeah, but think about it, dude. That would make whatever the fuck's going on right now like on par with what's going on down south.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because now you're looking at characters that we thought had each other's back no matter what. Because I don't believe this shit for a minute that they're both gonna go at it unless something insane happens.
Yeah, I agree.
And her at least doing that, being like, "Don't worry about Littlefinger" or something along those lines. I think that would make it infinitely more interesting and make the show back up instead of we got the side thing going on for fluff.
Right. Because we got so much other great stuff going on, and then we have this kind of meandering storyline. What'd you think of Sansa sending away Brienne the way she did? I had a little bit of an issue with it.
Can you explain to me what the point was? I
No.
watched it like 8 times, and that's the part where I was like, I don't get why she sent her off. Like, I don't. Can you explain that to me?
I can't
don't get
understand. No, because I don't understand it. It's weird. Sansa is a 1 step forward, 2 steps back type of character. Because every time that we think she's doing the right thing, she's finally starting to fucking understand it. She just does these weird backwards where it's almost she's proving Arya right. You know, she's proving to Arya constantly that she is not any better than she was, even though she's learned more than almost anybody else on the show how fucked up this world is. Like, she's been through as much, but she still continues to make these really dumbass decisions. I don't know. I don't get it.
It's weird that Littlefinger said that she would be there just in case they both had an issue with each other.
Right.
That she would have to intervene and kind of mediate the situation is what he was getting at. And then she sends him off. So that's why I got a little confused as to, and I don't think they brought that up inside the episode. Like,
weird.
They touched on it, but they just like, it was like 30 seconds worth of that storyline of them being like, oh, there's a conflict here. And Littlefinger's really trying to soak up Sansa's side to see if he can't get in there, and then they went straight to the north, and I'm like, oh, see, there has to be something going on there that they don't even want to say, so to actually trip it up. And Bone Junk 13 asked in the chat on YouTube, what wasn't Littlefinger at the meeting in the trailer to the next episode? I mean, I know we can get to the trailer
I didn't see it. But I didn't see it. I missed it.
You haven't seen the trailer?
No, I don't watch the trailers. I try not to watch them.
Okay, so we can't even talk about the trailer. Huh?
You can talk about the trailer. You can go through the trailer. I'm fine with that. I don't watch them. I always miss them, and then I never go back to watch them again. I'm just weird. I'm just weird. It's not like I'm trying to avoid them.
Oh, okay. Well, Bone Junk, just to answer your question, I didn't see him in the trailer, but Brienne was there. So she does make it down. She teleports, of course.
Of course.
Because as we all know, it takes 3 months from like King's Landing to the north. But Brienne's going to get there overnight.
Yes. So she found Wells Fargo, and she's going very fast now. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. I don't understand it. But hey, what are you going to do? You can complain about it. Hey, by the way, guys, we're going to be taking calls at the end of the show like we always do here on the Game of Thrones recap. Make sure that you're here for that. Also, next week, I am not exactly sure how I'm handling it, but we're going to be doing something really. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a live reaction right after the season finale. I haven't decided all of it yet, but it's going to be a big week next week. We're going to have a lot of fun with that because it is a season finale, but we'll talk about more of that towards the end of the show. But get into my Discord if you want to ask questions, go into waiting to call, and we'll take callers in just a little while. Okay, so we got everything down in winter hell taken care of. Oh, my God.
So going up north now. Ooh, buddy.
Okay, so the greatest World of Warcraft or Dungeons and Dragons team ever assembled has traveled up north. And besides all of the incredible things that they see and do and encounter, maybe some of the best one-on-one banter we've ever heard in the show. Give me Tormund and the Hound talking about pussy forever.
That's a podcast we need right there. That's a podcast we need. Tormund and Hound and Tormund.
Oh, Jade's so young. Isn't Wells Fargo Insurance? No, Wells Fargo was a company. Well, they've turned into a banking and insurance and all that. But long ago, Wells Fargo was they traveled. They were a courier. They brought money from all kinds. Never mind. Old person joke. Don't forget it. Don't worry about it, Jade. I'm old. I'm fucking old. Anyways. I'm fucking old. Tormund and the Hound, man. Everybody got good banter. We got to see a lot of people talk. Of course, we got a lot of Podrick who went from rowing to running. We'll talk about that too, which was phenomenal. But everybody got to talk. Everybody had little one-on-one conversations. But I cannot stop playing Tormund and the Hound in my head. When he's talking about fucking Brienne, I can't. We're going to have giant babies that are going to conquer the world. Oh, my God. And he's like, oh, God. And how about...
But the moment where I bawled out, well, the first time I watched it anyway, not the eighth, but the first time I watched it, the moment where I was like, what? Started laughing was when he goes and he's like, oh, you do know her. When he confirmed it, like, Brianna fucking Tarth. That's the part where I was like, damn, this episode's going to be good.
Yeah, it was, too. I like Tormund's finding of the word dick. Very fascinating. Dick. I like dick. I bet you do. Oh, it was so good. Just the back and forth.
It's pussy. Yeah.
Oh, also, I need to get on a shirt. How do you survive in the wildlands in the free folk country? Walking's good. Fighting's better.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking's best.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They probably already got that on lock on Game of Thrones. They already got it. Because I think I drink and I know things. And Game of Thrones already had it on sale after the episode.
Of course they did.
They know it. These people plan out everything.
Oh,
know? I bet you they read the script. They're like, that's money. Put that on a shirt.
Bumper sticker, shirt, absolutely. And this episode was just, it was constant. So let's talk about everything that happened in the north up there. Over the wall. So they go up there, they're starting to fucking walk through, they're looking for the damn for a White Walker. They got to take it back. Well, they don't find a White Walker zombie. They find a fucking White Walker bear. And it just murders like everybody. Why didn't they think right there that may not be a good idea? Because they lost like half their goddamn party after fighting the bear.
What? Wasn't there 2 bears? Can I clear that up? Was there 2 bears?
I think it was only one bear going very fast.
I don't understand. If that guy was running away from a bear leaped out onto his side and then fucking murked him, then killed him.
They only killed one bear.
That's how, I don't know. We were all confused. After the episode, we were all confused. Because I was like, was there 2 bears? And they said, we thought so. But it doesn't really matter. I'm asking because maybe somebody caught something I didn't. But.
No, well, they only killed one bear. So there's another bear like tracking them down or something. I don't fucking know. But we had to say goodbye early. Well, we knew somebody's ass was done. The priest, the red priest, what's his name?
Somebody had to go, for sure.
And him going a little bit weird. Oh, by the way, all the shit talk that I've done on people who were saying that Mr. One Eye, fucking, what's his, Barrick, what's his name? Shit.
Beric Dondarrion?
Yeah. Everybody's saying about how not important or how important he's going to be, and I'm always like, no, I don't think so. I'm fucking wrong. He is incredibly important. Potentially more important than anybody even thought, because my God, what a strong episode he had. All the lines that he had, the insight that he was continuing to drop on people, everything that he was doing, it was awesome. He's the one who
was essentially.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was essentially him and Tormund that changed Jon's mind.
Yeah. No,
because he wasn't going to bend the knee. He was very stubborn about it. Not stubborn. We can understand him, but it was basically Tormund's one line of, the pride, how many people have to die for your pride, and the mentorship out of a conversation from Beric Dondarrion. We don't need to know anything else but, what we're fighting for, and we're good.
It was weird. I never thought that the reason why Jon wasn't bending was out of pride. I never felt that was the reason. And it was
I don't think so either. I'm just saying.
It's so weird. But because not only did Danny throw it in his face an episode ago, how your pride. And then now they're doing it. And I don't understand, because this didn't seem like a matter of pride for Jon. Jon doesn't give a fuck about that. So it was more about the fact that he didn't think he'd be able to hold what he had, because there's no way they'd ever fucking bow to a Targaryen. So I don't know, but it worked. It worked. And, but I think it had more to do with some of the other things that happened in the episode. So, but it was an interesting bunch of conversations that we got to see. Everybody interacting and kind of working each other, but not in a manipulation type of way. Everybody just sharing insight on what they have gathered, what they saw. And Beric came up with one of the most important things that anybody has said in the entire episode. I'm going to jump a little bit ahead, because when they did finally get the White Walker, we got to see something so important about killing a lead White Walker kills all the White Walkers around him. So whoever turns those White Walkers is what you got to kill. And then Beric's like, we killed that motherfucker right there, and everybody's dead. So he may have said the most important thing, and we'll get back to that in a second, I'm sure. I don't mean to jump forward. But Beric's incredibly important. He seems to be the one guy who's really fucking smart about this whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, at what point are we at right now? As far as, because I saw Will Woot say the only killed one bear and Tormund fucked the other one to death. And we might have taken it as Tormund telling Baratheon or Gendry, oh, we just have to make do what we have. Remember, he told the story that he fucked a bear because there was no women around. Yeah,
I think he fucked the bear. I think he fucked it to death. He fucked the White Walker bear to death. That's what I think. I'm willing to ride with that.
And you know what, Beric had a point bringing around what you were saying before I went off script here with Will, but
no, that's just hysterical.
Yeah, when he killed that White Walker and the rest of them kind of went down. Conveniently, one was left.
Right.
And I know it's obvious to all of us that he was not made by that one White Walker. Mm-hmm. But it does kind of make sense strategically, for one White Walker, in case that White Walker goes down, for another one of those deadheads, one of the zombie ones, to not be with him. That way he can one cry out or two run away and go get the others. It makes sense.
Yeah, and it's exactly what happened.
So yeah, and it's exactly what happened. So it can't be one of the I say conveniently because it's funny, but it makes sense. Like, why would a Night King like that? We already know he's very clever.
Yes.
He knows what he's doing. He obviously, this last episode tells you he knows exactly what's going on.
He has planned ahead, man. He knows exactly.
Way ahead.
Yes.
And if we haven't noticed, while they were on that ice island and we were just waiting for dragons to show up, they all had giant spears that I don't personally remember them having before that moment. Why were they just hanging out, each of them, with those giant spears?
Knew it was coming. I wondered if it's his connection with, Three-Eyed Raven type stuff. Being able to touch Bran. Maybe he knows more things now. I don't know if that's ever going to come into play. But he seems to know everything. He seems to know where to go, what to do, what babies to turn. I mean, it's like this motherfucker's on top of everything. I don't know. And they were certainly ready for whatever was coming. All right, so they capture. I think after the bear stuff, they go into. They're tracking the little hunting party down of the White Walkers. They capture one White Walker, and it's exactly as you say. One survives, screams out, and then the whole fucking horde comes.
Yep.
And then Gendry starts running.
Well, he tells him to take off, and then Gendry says no. He gives up the hammer, which he keeps looking at it in a certain way. But just saying, he gives up the hammer and he takes off. And as he's running to go up north, takes him a full night, right? From what the episode hinted at us, right? Because they slept a full night, and Gendry just ran the whole night.
Yes,
finally gets to the wall. What's that?
Go ahead. I was agreeing with you. Yes, he did. He ran his ass off.
Ran his ass off all the way to fatigue set in at the wall, and that was it. And then they got the Raven down to King's Landing. And we are still, at this point, we're with that party minus Thoros, because they just woke up. And Thoros had died.
Frozen.
Sleep.
After, and it kind of sucks, too. I felt bad for him because he healed not healed, but he treated his wounds by burning the fuck out of him. So he went through all of this shit to stay alive. And then he just dies freezing, just froze to death. After all that, a follower of the fucking fire god freezes to death. A little bit of irony there. Maybe don't follow fire god because the frost's still going to get you. Kind of like that. By the way, all week, all I've heard from Jade, Jade Rabbit just going crazy about the fucking Game of Thrones stuff. Now she has another thing. The first one was, why don't they just get one dragon? You just scoop up a fucking White Walker with a net, everything would have been over. Okay, maybe, but what if what happened would have happened? I don't know. You don't bring those dragons into a dangerous situation unless you absolutely have to. That was my counter to that, because you just don't know. I don't know if you start flying, especially with Dany on the dragon, you don't just go up there and be like, hey, let's go catch something real quick. I don't know. I'm not into that. But what she just said is interesting. She goes, why didn't Jon just bring a raven with him? I like how the miners used to bring canary birds to check for oxygen. That's actually a good point. Why don't you bring a raven?
I would say the first answer I would give to anybody saying, why don't you just take a raven with you, is you have multiple reasons, from my opinion anyway, from my point of view. I would be like, one, a raven makes noise. We're trying to be tactical here. I don't want the damn thing while we're creeping over a mountain to be like, wah, 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 going crazy. Two, we don't know if it's going to survive in the cold. Yeah, we've seen them fly around up there, but we don't, there's probably a reason why you don't see crows up there just hanging out.
Right.
Again. And three, you have to probably feed that thing. We don't know how long we're going to be gone. So that's my opinion anyway.
And that's why you ask. And that's why you ask a badass soldier those type of questions, because those are the answers you're going to get. 100% correct. Tactically, it doesn't work.
Yeah, because it's just there's too many variables that could happen. You don't want to risk it. It just doesn't make sense to bring a liability along. Wait, they left Jorah Mormont behind. You think they're going to bring or not Jorah Mormont? Sorry, Davos behind. Just for his banter and shit talk, I'd bring him along. He boost morale. I'd put him there before a damn crow. But
not with his nubs fingers. I mean, Jesus, too much of a liability. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Still. But hey, no, I agree with it. Birds, that's a big liability. So, the White Walker makes all the noise, and they are absolutely surrounded. And one of the most interesting things that I've seen, that the fighting in this, I really enjoyed the battle. I enjoyed everything that they did, the way that they paced it, the fighting, the way that they were surrounded, the ice freezing over and all of that stuff, them not being able to get closer because of the ice, all of those things. Very, very cool stuff. What did you think of how they built that? Did they blow their load too quick? How did the fight scene feel for you?
I think the fight scene felt good. I still have questions about how the anatomy of a White Walker works. I know we saw dragon glass from Jorah. Can you confirm you saw dragon glass from anyone else?
I didn't. I can't say that I did. I think I may have seen the Hound pull one out when he lost his main weapon, I think he pulled one out of his vest. I think they all had a backup weapon made of dragon glass. I think.
Yeah, because we went down to like almost everyone had daggers and knives, and I know I saw Jorah pull out one. Yep. He already stuck the bear with one. That's why it went down so quick. You know, because they were slashing at it, they were hitting it, nothing was working. Then he finally stabbed it with dragon glass, and it went down. That was something I was curious about too. Is it dragon glass only kills the White Walkers, or does it kill the zombie ones as well? You know, because I don't know, it just weirded me out that I can't figure out the issue here. Since if you slash at a walker with a regular sword and he goes down, just slashing at him.
Right.
How many did they slash with regular weapons and they go down and that's it?
I'm wondering if they all were regular weapons. Because the only one that I know for certain was a regular weapon was Gendry's, because he made the motherfucker. But everybody else, I mean, they just came from the spot with Jon. Why wouldn't they all have a dragon glass type weapon? Or at least tipped with it or something? Maybe they never explained it, so it's probably not the case. But the way that the White Walkers were going down, I kind of felt like maybe those weapons were made of dragon glass. And we know that Jon had Valyrian steel. And I think there was maybe there might have been another Valyrian steel weapon amongst the group. I have no idea. No, I don't think so.
I don't know. From what I saw, just the questions that I have for how is it that we can slash at a white or whatever, the stupid zombie ones, and then they go down, but then, and this is nitpicking, right? But then with the one that we captured, we can stick it with a giant horn into its chest, and it still be alive and be okay and cool. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, I don't know, it's very, very strange to me, but it's nitpicking, it's stupid, it's probably not relevant at all. But
Bill Wood says you can kill whites with normal weapons.
There you go. Yeah, well, we'll be there. You know, we're there. But the fight scene, I think it was good. It was definitely the one part that got me was the first time I watched it anyway, was Tormund getting drugged.
Ooh.
And I was like, this is it, dude. This is it. The first time I was watching, I was like, this is it. I thought he was going down.
I thought so too. And then
I thought he was going down.
Do you kind of feel like in Game of Thrones fashion that he should have went down? Because the way that he got saved, it kind of felt like, man, this is not Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones don't make the heroic save like that. They let these motherfuckers die. So killing Tormund kind of would have felt like par for the course. But now it seems like they're kind of protecting some of these characters more than they have in the past. And I don't know. That's just, again, nitpicky. But I was like, man, they don't do this on Game of Thrones. These motherfuckers being able to go at any time is kind of part of the thing. But Tormund's so popular, so it's like Daryl Dixon in fucking Walking Dead. They ain't killing Daryl because he's so popular. They ain't killing Tormund because he's so popular. I don't know. It just seems weird to me. It's Game of Thrones. Everybody goes.
Yeah, true. I mean, that was such I think also most of the things that you see too on the show, it feels like you can write it out as historical,
right?
As a historical event, like this is a particular location, two sides are heroes, the guys in the red shirts on Star Trek die, like that. I forgot that they had other people with them.
Right.
Like
they did. They had like a whole bunch of guys, who had nothing.
And of course there's no way that they're there and they survived that, so.
Dawn of Danny says, I agree with Dave. The episode was a bit too much Hollywood. Yeah, it just felt a little anti Game of Thrones to me. Just a little bit. Again, nitpicky, and I'm glad Tormund survived. I love Tormund. I want to see him all the time. That's my guy. I fucking love that dude. But I don't know, it was just a little weird for me. So they're surrounded, the whole night goes off, and then I like that we always get a reminder that the Hound is impetuous, that the Hound does stupid shit, and most of the time it ends up catching up to him. He had to fucking start chucking rocks at White Walkers.
What a dick.
Hits the first one from like a football field away, which is fucking impressive. Then the second one, he shows all the White Walkers that the ice is frozen over, and then all shit fucking breaks loose, man. Oh, God. What did you think at this point, now that they're getting... We all knew that Danny was going to get there in time. But the way they paced the fight, they took him right to the fucking brink, man. They took him right to the edge. What did you think of that? How did that work out for you? What questions and comments do you have about that little scuffle?
I agree that they paced it right and everything, but also that comment that it's too much Hollywood is also true, and what you're saying as well. Because I mean, they were surrounded by thousands,
yeah,
thousands. Why would you run up to them one at a time? You know, like that. They have, you know, if they're swarming, all they have to do is just keep running. Don't even stop. You know, just keep running towards each other on all sides. But other than that, yeah, Hound is an asshole. If you notice, it was a small rock. It was a small rock at first that hit his jaw. Then it was a big rock. He couldn't chuck that far. He should have known better. You know, so
he picks up a fucking boulder and tries to throw it. And he still got it pretty far, to be fair. But I mean, damn, it was fucking crazy. To answer one thing you just said about them, what if they were just to continue running? I thought they did a really good job at the camera angles when they first were running away from all the White Walkers. They were showing on the sides. If you go back and watch, the White Walkers were outpacing them, and they were getting ahead of them way far out in the distance. They were circling them. They were not going to outrun those motherfuckers. They were getting surrounded either way. It was the whole thing. I did like the way that was set up. So they have the whole battle there. They're going down to the brink. Then the dragon shows up with Danny in tow. By the way, talking a little bit about what happened back in Dragonstone, fucking Tyrion completely against Danny going. Was he right?
As far as like in retrospect, or you're talking about like
in general,
in that moment, would have been like, yeah, he's right?
Because they set up through the entire episode. The big conversation that Danny and him had was about secession. Who's going to, who's going to be next in line if she does die? And Danny seemed to take fucking great offense to it. Like, great fucking offense that Tyrion would even bring this up at this point, which I understand to an extent. But then, being Game of Thrones and not a wasted conversation, later in the episode, bang, it's very important now because she wants to ride off, take the dragons, go try to rescue a small raiding party for a plan that only had so much of a chance to work in the first place. And Tyrion's like, no, you can't. And he seemed really genuinely concerned about her. And not just from a leadership standpoint, because if she goes down, everything's lost. And I thought that the emotion of that scene was pretty cool.
Well, you definitely felt it from his part. With her, I think she's just saying, fuck everything. We need to get shit done. Okay? And you just keep saying all this other shit. And I like the way they played everything out, especially in the dialogue before that scene between both of them.
Yeah.
Where he's bringing up all these common sense points and he's trying to, ask about that succession. And I think her lines were perfect as well, because he's like, it's weird you're bringing this up when you come back after an audience with your family, you cocksucker.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck's your problem? And usually you talk about this stuff when you're on the throne, because nobody's going to follow anybody when she's gone. Nobody's going to be like, oh, Grey Worm, let's do it. If anything, it's revenge and that's it. Nobody cares about sitting anywhere. They want to see her. In my opinion, anyway, they want to see her on the throne. No, nobody else is going to take that spot.
Oh, no. She goes down, it all falls apart. Yeah, I agree.
He's right about that. But him bringing it up does look shady. So you got to understand from her point, excuse me, you little motherfucker? What did you say?
Especially when his plans keep
I like
failing.
I like the way she shut him down.
Yeah.
She was like, hey, if you were planning for the short term, we wouldn't have lost two of our half our fucking army, right, asshole. So shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? So he's losing a little bit of credibility, in my opinion, with her. Especially you're trying to push who's a successor when we haven't even gotten there.
Right.
That's I don't know. To me, I like the way they played that out, which led into her making the decision to go.
Yes.
To me, anyway, I feel like her looking at Tyrion saying you shouldn't go is like, you know what? You need to go take a nap or something.
Go to sleep.
You know what I mean? Because you keep giving me some bad advice. You're supposed to be my guy,
But to be fair, she still hasn't dismissed him or anything like that. She gave him some confidence earlier in the episode as well. So that was interesting. All right. So everything that we know, without knowing what happens to a fucking dragon, did Danny make the right decision by going and trying to rescue this mission that is half-cocked at best? And why did she save? Is it because of emotions for Jon? What's the reason for her going?
I think, well, one, she's got feelings for Jon.
Yeah,
in the short amount of time that she's met him, she's tracking and they said it on the inside of the episode. They said those words. She knows in this short amount of time, this person is not like the other boys.
Yep.
This is someone very special. And you know what the interesting part is? They said that she feels something deep for him now, and he knows it. They didn't say that he reciprocated.
Yeah.
They only said that he knows that she feels something deep for him. So it's almost like John is not even on that level yet. He's not even concerned about love or any of that stuff.
No,
but she's
they've
definitely
addressed it a little bit, like little conversations between him and Davos, and he was like, he never denied what Davos was saying, but he'd be like, we don't have time for this. But the way that he looks at her, though, is a little bit different. The way that he interacts and all of this stuff. By the way, somebody said, how the fuck did Dany find him in the middle of the frozen landscape? Does Jon Snow have a GPS implanted in his ass? I think the dragon has a little bit of a kinship with him, as we saw in the little petting scene from the episode before. I think that had to do with that, and which is what allowed the dragon to find him so easily. But I'm just taking a guess there.
Also, we can talk shit about, the area where, they do have locations in the north.
Yeah.
They have the fist of the first men, they got different locations. We have to assume that there's more that they've named. So maybe describing it to Dany off screen is what we're assuming, that Gendry knows exactly how to get there. And on a dragon, he could just, hey, get to that mountain, then make a right, like fucking some dumb shit like that.
Take a
and then you'll find
that mountain that looks like a penis. Yeah.
And think about it too, it's hundreds of thousands of whites, so you could just be like, there you go, whites. And then you could just go ahead and be like, okay, make a right at this mountain, and you'll be able to start understanding where you're at.
Right.
You'll start seeing hundreds of thousands of people go to the center. They'll be there. And as far as did she make the right decision, I obviously I wouldn't even know what to say in the middle of that decision being made, but I probably would have just said, fuck it, go. I mean, what else are we gonna do? He's the king of the north, he's got, she had to go see for herself. I think that was another part.
That
too.
was so important. Yeah, I agree. And it becomes,
and
so
it's not just
important.
for us in hindsight, for the storyline. I'm saying, I think she did want to go.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just for John. It wasn't just for the mission. I think she just was, it was almost a time where she's like, I'm either going to be convinced or I could just tell this guy to shut the fuck up and bend the knee already.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because she could be able to look him in the eye and say it wasn't that big of a deal. But she lost the dragon, and the Night King didn't even look like he was worried about it.
No.
Like not even a little bit.
Let's talk about this, because the dragons fucking come in, and once again we see dragon might at its finest, just wrecking everything. Motherfucking Night King was like, bitch. And he's like, his man just gave him the spear like nothing. And that motherfucker was like, bip, 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 bam. And just, ooh, my God. We've been seeing these dragons from egg to little hatchlings to menaces to being chained up in mountains, stolen, all this shit. We've seen so much happen with these dragons. Did they do the dragon death justice? I mean, for me, it hit me like a fucking hammer seeing that. Which dragon was that? Was it Viserys? I think.
Yeah. Viserion.
Viserion, excuse me. That one, it hit me like a goddamn hammer because they were wrecking shit. I'm like, war is going to be over. These dragons are fucking shit up. And then when Viserion goes down like that, did they do it right? Or did they not give enough justice to this dragon?
I think it was beautiful. I think the from the blood simulation to the crash and to the sinking, I think they nailed it as far as like just slowly closing the eyes. I was like, oh God, that was great. I as soon as he got hit, I was like, oh, he's gonna die. He's not coming back from that. This wasn't one of those scorpion spears. This was a straight up, you know what I mean? This was a fucking death spear. So
right.
As soon as it went underwater, I don't think. If I remember the first time I watched it, I don't think I did have that in my head. As soon as he hopped on his horse anyway and started walking off, I was like, oh, why don't you just go do what you need to do, man? You got one now. But I didn't, for some reason, maybe it might have been the way they filmed it. Maybe you have a different take on it, but I didn't see the dragon thing coming until I saw chains,
Yes.
But I think they did do justice as far as, we saw gallons of blood per 0.2 seconds.
It was a lot of blood.
Saw her face and the disbelief on everyone's face.
Yeah,
just
everybody.
Kind of like,
that was
what
brilliant.
the fuck?
Oh.
Like we thought we had this in the bag with dragons, and as soon as he hits the ground and goes under, And the guy's just standing there like, okay, bitch, what else you got? You know,
Right.
like it was one. And you see Jon Snow, the fear, and he's running back like, just fly, fuck it. You know, we can risk me. I'm just a dude, but we can't risk dragons.
Can't risk
You gotta
dragons.
go.
Can't risk dragons.
And I think
Can't risk Dany.
And I think that part right there too is Jon Snow saw that Dany's willing to risk everything to show up for them and be there for them. She's got their back for sure.
Yeah.
And that showed her that Jon Snow is willing to die for the cause.
Exactly. They see a lot of understanding.
Yeah, and exactly what he said is exactly what she experienced. Is you had to see it to believe it, and it cost her dearly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's her children, and we really did feel that in this episode. And so getting through all of that, seeing Jon, once again, another Jon Snow death tease. How many of these are we going to get, from him actually dying to him almost being killed multiple times in the Battle of Bastards to now this, falling into the fucking lake, surviving frostbite, continuing to fight. By the way, what a badass he is. Getting out of the lake and then drawing his sword and like, come on, bitch, let's keep going. Before we get to the big climax on the boat, the return and ultimate demise of Cold Hands. Fucking, Benjen and Jon recognizing who it was, only to be sent away. Did that?
What a dumbass!
Come with me. There's no time. Get on the horse.
Benjen, there's time. Like, and he's got like zero emotional anything anymore.
Yeah.
Like, even with Bran, he's like, all right, y'all, I dropped y'all off here at the wall, so have fun with this tree. All right, man, I'll see y'all later. And he just fucking takes off. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? And then this time he's like, there's no time, bro, bye.
With his fucking flaming maces that he was just wrecking shit with. And then get on the horse. Why not get on the horse? What a waste of Benjen in some ways. I felt like that was rushed. Why kill Benjen there?
With how they explained it, in case you haven't seen it, I don't think you do watch the inside the episode.
No, don't watch it. We never do. It's fucking awful.
From Dave and Dan's perspective, the way they described it, I'll have to link you these YouTube videos, and we should probably start putting them in the description.
I have them. I got HBO Now. Somebody's letting me use their HBO Now, so I can watch them. I just don't. I'm the worst, man. I really am. I'm fucking awful at everything.
It's all good.
Can't help it.
Well, what they say in inside the episode for Benjen is they brought him back, and he wanted, the only way that Jon would have trusted him immediately to get on a horse and get the fuck out of there was to show his face.
Right.
So Jon being happy, he would just climb on the horse, no questions asked. And then, him asking, come with me. It's obviously, I want my uncles to survive.
Right.
Because he has no idea about, him being half dead or whatever. Bran was the one that got that explanation.
Yeah.
But, again, there's no time from what he was saying, and he slapped that ass to go. The reason being, from what they were describing, was he didn't, being half dead and not being able to go south of the wall or having a normal life ever again, is he didn't know he was stuck in this limbo, in this purgatory where he was just living.
Yeah.
So his whole situation was he needed that purpose in life. And he felt like after Bran, there's probably, he hadn't died yet. So he just kind of has been lingering and watching. And that was his opportunity to kind of complete his destiny and then finally die in peace, like not in peace, but,
well, he's dead,
in the moment where he's accomplished his reason for existence. Yeah. was it came to terms there. So that's why their mentality was exactly that it wasn't just to bring him in to kill him off because he's just this floating character we never saw again, but he did have a purpose. Yeah. So,
and that really did come across, the having a purpose. And I like that as well. Before we get to the big blow off, the end scene, which fuck me sideways. What else may have missed already, or anything that we gloss over? Anything that you've noticed before we get to that big on the boat, because that's the big one. That's the one everybody's dick's hard after this. What else did we miss? Did we miss anything else?
We haven't talked about Dany and Jon getting a little.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the big scene on the boat.
Oh, is that the big scene? I thought you were talking about the other scene.
What other scene? The
resurrection.
Oh, well, the resurrection goes without saying.
To me, that was the big scene. That was the one for me.
You know why it didn't? To me, I knew it was coming. Unfortunately, I was spoiled about this months ago, so I knew that was coming. So that wasn't a huge shock to me. But the scene with let's talk about the scene with Danny and John, because this one to me, one of my favorite scenes in the entire series. There was so much attention to detail in there. I like the way Game of Thrones has characters look at stuff, and you see them look at stuff constantly. Danny, the first thing when John opens his eyes, seeing Danny just white in front of him, I thought that was a really cool visual. And then Danny looking down, seeing the heart. The actual stab in the heart, so she knows that it's actually.
She was so wet.
Oh, she was so wet. She was so wet.
God.
She was turned the fuck on. The whole scene, the talking about the first thing he's saying, "I'm sorry," all of these things, the hand holding, deep connection between these two, and it didn't feel like a half-assed deep connection. It felt like, one of those. Are we going to tease it, or is it going to? No, these two, they're there. They're absolutely there, and I love the fact that calling her his queen. I know I'm going fast through it, but my God, what a wonderful scene.
I liked it just because of, like how you're saying, those looks back and forth, and you already know Danny I have to go and, finish myself off because this conversation is getting a little hot and horny. She saw those abs. She saw them scars. She's just thinking how she's going to lick them tonight. You know what I mean? That's the only thing going through her head. I'd said that, I think, on Twitter or whatever, that I'd impregnate Danny on the back of Drogon while we were burning some Lannister soldiers live, like in mid-flight.
Right.
In mid-flight, baby. Oh, my God. Like, Danny is hot.
Yeah.
Jon Snow's a little hot himself. You know what I'm saying?
A little bit.
Like, not even...
No homo, of course.
Anyway.
But damn.
Look at Jade Rabbit said, I also like how Danny was prepared with the whole outfit. Where did she get that dope fur from?
She did have a dope. It
is true. I saw her walk out. I was like, how she know that? Like, what? Did somebody whip something up real quick? Like, she got this sexy ass white Targaryen shit going on.
That's what Missandre really does. Missandre's her fucking tailor. That's her real job. She just takes care of it. Because that outfit was baller as shit. I was like, damn,
dude. She's fucking right. Do you know what we don't have enough of on Halloween? Is Danny's.
Right. Like, why?
We don't have enough of those.
Danny, I don't understand that.
We don't need any more of these Harley Quinn motherfuckers. We need some more Danny's.
YST says Jon Snow should have stepped up and say, "I ain't bending the knee." Now he's about to lick her fucking clean, dude. He's about to take that clitty litter out of that woman. I'm telling you, man. Because that shit.
I would have bent the knee and then picked her ass up. You know what I'm
saying? Did you feel like him calling her his queen had different connotations than just bending the knee? With him holding hands the way they were, like I felt that was almost a proposal. It was almost like, I don't know. I'm going a little bit farther, obviously, but it felt like there was deeper connotations.
You know what's weird? When she reacted to that, and I think there is. A little bit, but not. I don't think his mind's there. Maybe he said the words and he has those feelings, but now is not a good time. He's the one with the cool head.
Yeah.
If he would have gotten up naked as fuck and put her dick in her mouth, she would have been there all day, in my opinion. But she's like, her emotions are kind of getting the better of her here and there. That's why she's like letting go of the hand, re-embracing him.
Yeah. And
he's kind of like, we still got dead people we got to kill. But with her reactions towards him, did you notice when she's like, how do I know I'll deserve it? We went from this strong, powerful, I am the queen, you need to bend the knee, to, she's garnered so much respect for him.
Yeah.
And so much, love for the guy already. And do you consider that to be her questioning herself, or more of she has that respect for him? Like, did she see what kind of person he is and being like, wow, he's just this juggernaut of a warrior and this leader that definitely deserves it. And, am I a little bit less than he is? And do I deserve his, his affection, his
devotion? Yeah. I absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I deserve it.
I think they've been building this for weeks. From the first time when she asked John his opinion out of nowhere, which surprised him. She's obviously quite enamored with him, and she thinks quite a bit of him. And it does make her question her own abilities, because this man, he'll sacrifice anything, and she sees it. Now she knows the threat is real. She knows everything that he's saying. He wasn't full of shit. She also knows that this motherfucker actually came back to life. You know, I think she's starting to put this shit together. This dude is unbelievably special, and the way that they've built it, she's in love with him. And I think when love is on that deep of a level, I think that it makes you question things. It makes you question yourself, your place in the world, your leadership abilities. Because look at this man, look at this, and I think they've done a really good job of kind of going all around. I also want to hit on what the elusive gamer, I think, just said, because I thought this was important too. They've now twice mentioned that Danny not being able to have kids. That's heavy foreshadowing. Heavy foreshadowing. And I think that's going to come into play.
You think he's going to be able to pull it off?
Yes.
You think he's going to be able to pull it off?
Yeah, I do. I think John's going to be able to put some super sperm up in there. Yes, I do.
Well, first of all, I don't think who the fuck was it? The girl that brought back the witch, that brought back Drogo. Was she the one that made the statement you won't have kids anymore, or that she's just saying she's not willing to have kids anymore?
I think
the
witch, when the witch did that, I think that's what happened. I think, but it was so long ago, I don't even remember right, to be honest.
That's where I think we all might be getting tripped up, unless the elusive gamer knows the answer to that, like legit. Is it she is saying that in order for all the men that might be interested in her know that they have no real legacy or future with a house to kind of turn them off? Or is that one of those, fucking, she definitely can't because we might have missed something, or we might not be remembering, you and me anyway, because I don't remember a moment like that where they told her flat out you can't have kids.
The only thing that I can vaguely remember when the witch was like fucking cursing fucking Drog or some shit. I barely remember it. I think they may have alluded to it, but I'm really not sure.
Okay.
Yeah. See, Dawn of Danny said, yeah, the witch put a spell on Danny. Well, fuck.
Thank you, Dawn of Danny.
Thank you for that, but fuck a spell. This is Targaryen semen. This is Jon Snow semen.
This is Jon Snow shit. You know what I'm saying?
This is going to find a way.
This is that. You want to talk about some real white cum. This thing is glowing. This thing's got fire in it. Like Egret doesn't even know.
No. To quote fucking Jeff Goldblum from fucking Jurassic Park, life will find a way. I'm fan with Jon Snow.
Maybe he puts it in her butt. That's the secret.
There you go.
That's the secret.
Right in the butt. There you go. White Walker.
So your final answer was because my question, maybe I might have worded it wrong, but do you think that she always questioned herself and put a front up?
No.
And he's the one that in that moment kind of did it, or she's always been confident, and because he is who he is that she's witnessed, she kind of started questioning.
I think it's
herself.
the latter. I think it's more of the fact that what he has shown. I think she's been arrogant at times. She's been so confident that she's come across as arrogant. At times, John has made her question all of that because he's a minimalist. She's doing this with dragons and soldiers and fucking all this crazy shit. John's doing it with himself, essentially. A little bit of help from a red goddess, but other than that, John's just been doing shit. And I think she sees that, and it makes her question everything that she's lived through at this point. I think they've done a really good job of hitting that home.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Resurrection.
We got
Resurrection.
The Resurrection, the chains came out. I know I saw earlier in the chat. We're going to take calls here soon, too.
Yes,
so Super Tobes, fucking, just hang out, bro.
Hang out.
But the chains, first of all, in the chat, somebody asked where the fuck they get the chains at. I agree. But at the same time, I'm pretty much done with this building building a fucking. I don't need to watch walkers walk around grabbing chains and shit. I don't need to see that.
We don't need to see White Walkers smithing chains. No, I'm good.
Yeah, I know exactly. But then you like me. I have questions like, how can you just slice one of these guys and they're okay, and then a thorn to we're all fucking fucked up in the head with this show. We pick our battles. Finding chains out in the north, not one of mine.
No, I choose not to. Yeah.
If it led to the direct resurrection of a fucking dragon and possibly breathing, liquid nitrogen onto another dragon, I'm fucking all for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If he would have snapped his fingers and it teleported the dragon, I would have been like, man, that's cool.
Right.
Fuck it.
We
Let's
already
do
have
this
time
shit.
travel. We already got forms of it already. Fuck it. Who cares? You know what?
Varys is mastered that motherfucker.
So what are we questioning at this point? That was a really great scene. I like that they went through the trouble of actually showing the dragon being drug out of the lake. I kind of like that. Didn't really need to. I think they would have been able to achieve a lot of the same effect if the dragon was just sitting on top of the ice. But I like going through that motion of showing just how much of an effort that the Night King went through to get this dragon. That's a fucking big investment of time and White Walkers to pull that motherfucker out of the river, and they did it, or the lake. My God, that was intense.
I honestly, do you believe? Because I honestly believe that was all a setup. I honestly believe that.
Ooh.
I honestly believe it was all a setup. There's no way if you tear that whole scene apart and you see giant spears, we've never seen that before, unless somebody in the chat can tell me to fuck off and straight up give me like an episode of where they had these giant spears. I'm not talking about the spears they fight with. That was not it. These were the size of them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like these were that long. They never had that. So if you can name another episode where they actually had those and they were just hanging out, you know, just fucking doing their creepy White Walker thing, name it, please, in the chat. But in my opinion, them in one shot, each and every single one of them had a giant spear just on the back of the horses watching Jon. And you cannot tell me they could have told the army to fucking hang out for a little bit and the Night King just would have walked right up to him because he did the same thing over there with the raven he killed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He would have gotten involved in a heartbeat. I think that whole thing was set up for him to have a dragon. And the reason why he didn't take Drogon out was because he had to kind of go for the guaranteed dragon that he could resurrect and ride into battle, or that mass weapon, that nuclear fucking bomb.
Yeah.
And then maybe go after Drogon.
Well, he did, and he
take
missed.
out those main characters, you know?
He went after Drogon the second time and fucking missed by about a cunt hair. My God.
I think he wanted the guarantee.
Yeah.
He wanted the guaranteed touchdown and then go for the 3 points, you know, instead of fucking maybe not being able to nail it because these people are pretty fucking lucky. You know what I mean?
Speaking to your point a little bit more too, it does feel like the entire thing was a setup based off just the fact that when have we seen we've never really seen a raiding party, just a small little party of White Walkers, you know, so to have then to have everyone else so fucking close, because they were fairly close. They weren't that far away to be able to react to a scream of a White Walker like that. So I'm wondering, I think you might be 100% right. But the question is why? Was it because of the killing the three-eyed raven and marking Bran, and that gives him an ability to see like the three-eyed raven? How does he know as much as he does now? Because he seems to know a hell of a lot more than he did before. He was planning well before, but now it's real proper planning preventing positively poor performance, because he's a step ahead of everybody. Because he knew exactly what was going on. I think you're 100% right. That was a motherfucking setup. And incredibly done. Incredibly done.
And just his whole, we know that they have reactions.
Yeah.
We know that, we don't know if he does, but we know that they have reactions. Like one of the whites, when he hit Jon's sword, was extremely surprised. You know, so we know they have those kinds of moments. Nobody seemed to bat an eye out of any one of those guys that Dragon showed up.
Nope. They're like,
you know what I mean? Like he literally got off that damn horse, walked straight forward, and just grabbed, you know, they handed him the spear as if this was all going right according to plan.
Come on with it. And just cow. Yeah, it was fucked. It was really, really fucked. They did a good job.
Ice dragons, bitch! Ice dragons! Anyway.
Big game changer. Big game, because we know how fast Dany travels on a fucking dragon. Now that he's got a dragon, this game has just changed. He can do whatever the fuck he wants now. How is that going to come into play? I'm assuming next week we're going to see the meetings and all of that stuff. I don't even know. Let's do quick thoughts on what are we going to see next week in the season finale. Because it's going to be like a year before we get another episode, and I might kill myself in that time, Vega. I don't know if I'm going to be able to deal with it. What are we going to see?
Well, what we're going to see for sure, based on what we've already seen, is I've already seen, is we are definitely having the meeting. And I think the location, anybody in the chat or when we take the calls, correct us if we're wrong, or if I'm wrong, the Dragon Pit. It's like an old looking Colosseum location that's a ruin. You know what I mean? So they all meet. And let me tell you this, Cersei Lannister is there, Jaime Lannister is there, Obviously, Danny, Tyrion. Oh, did we see Danny? I think she was there. Yeah. King of the North, John, his whole entourage, as well as Brienne. She's there. So what we're coming into is, Sansa thought she was sending her down, but now John's there, so she doesn't need to speak. She's just there now. And Davos is there. Everybody's there. And from the outside of the gates, we did see the entirety, from what I could see anyway, the entirety of the Unsullied army, along with Dothraki, surrounding, from what it looked like, King's Landing.
Yeah.
And Bran is there, not Bran. I'm sorry, Bronn and Jaime Lannister are the ones looking out into the army. That's what we saw, and that I'm assuming that's just them showing up. You know what I mean? Like everybody's bringing their big dicks to the meeting, and they all finally meet in the middle. And the one thing we heard John say was, "There's only one true war that matters, and it's here." And then it cuts off. That's the guarantee what we're there to see. And we did see the smallest cunt hair of a clip of the Hound drawing his weapon in front of a box.
Oh boy!
So that box, is probably the White Walker.
Yeah.
Now the thing with him drawing the sword is, it looks like a friendly meeting. Like as far as like we all agreed to be here, it didn't look like people were like drawing on each other. So he's drawing. I'm wondering if the mountain.
That's
in him.
What I'm thinking. Clegane Bowl. Finally. Do we see it this week?
I wonder if he trips out and just freaks out, being like, "What you do to my brother?"
Right.
Or it's one of those, "Fuck this guy, I hate him." It could go either way.
I have no idea, but I know that there's a lot of conflict that has happened between a lot of characters that are all going to be in one fucking spot. Everybody going to be in one spot. And some of these people got some real beef with each other. So that's going to be quite interesting to see how that works out. I think we're not going to get our dicks completely wet here. Game of Thrones likes to fuck with you. So I'm thinking typically they're going to give you one really, really huge thing. And it usually happens the episode before the final episode, and then the final episode has something else that's really good. But it's always that episode before. So the big fucking thing I think that we got was the resurrection of the dragon. But now, I don't think we're going to get a big war. I don't know if we're going to get a appearance by the Night King, but I do think we're going to get Clegane Bowl. I think Hound and Mountain happens next week. I think that's going to be the big one.
God, I can't wait.
I know, it's going to be fucked up.
I can't wait.
But then we got a year,
right,
dude.
boy.
We got a year, player. Fucking year, dude. I don't even know what I'm going to do.
I just know that I have to survive in life to make sure I make it,
Right. As long as I live to it, I'm okay. Next week, guys, what do we want to do? I'm down for going live right after. I'll stay up all night for it. I don't give a fuck. I'm down for going live after it. I know you're having some sort of a get together. Would you be able to call in? What do you want to do?
I might be able to call in. I don't think I can do a live one because I'm not actually here at the house. I'm somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if I got to think about it because I don't know what they want to do either. I mean, if the episode leaks, whatever, you know what I mean? So, because I think the episode leaked around Wednesday or something like that last week, right?
It leaked early. Yeah, it really did.
I might have to wait for this one. I might want to watch it with the world.
I think I'm gonna wait.
I want to watch it for the world. Anyway,
at the very least, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing a live reaction to it. I've even thought about maybe watching it and just reacting live and then doing an after show. Like watching it, not really talking to the chat, but just watching it, not showing the screen, but just having the camera on me as I react to this insanity of the episode. I don't know why. It's just self-gratification, but I think that could be fun.
Yeah.
So, you ready to take some calls?
We'll talk about it. We got time.
You ready to take some callers?
I'm ready.
All right, meet me over in Discord. We'll take some calls.
All right, buddy.
Good stuff, man. All right, Vega's coming. We're going to talk. We're going to get all this stuff worked out. You guys can call in now, get into my Discord, talk about whatever the fuck you want about Game of Thrones this week. We want to hear from your beautiful mouths. Give me your mouths. All right, Vega's here. I don't have to pull them up. That's good. Let's start with Super Toes because he donated and none of you other motherfuckers did. But he did, so he gets priority. Super Toes, live with Dead on Dave and Lord Vega. Welcome to the review.
7 blessings, Dave.
Fuck off. What do you want?
7 blessings.
Okay, I have a lot to talk about in this episode. It's probably one of my favorite episodes of Game of Thrones. There are multiple theories right now that I think were sort of confirmed in this episode, and one of them I wanted to get your ideas about is Bran is the Night King. Do you think it's like the actual possibility that he is?
No, I think Bran is in a loop. I think Bran is the same old fucking three-eyed raven that we've seen before. You know, like the three-eyed raven that died. I think that is old Bran. I think he's in a perpetual loop. I don't think he's the Night King, but it's possible. Vega?
I mean,
I think it is possible.
It's possible.
I think it's possible that I don't, but it's weird that they're both, I don't know, existing in the same time and places where you would have to kind of like figure out how the hell that works, Other than the Raven.
Flash, I think it could work.
What's that?
The what now?
The Flash. They did it on the Flash. I think it could work on Game of Thrones.
Well, this isn't exactly the fucking Flash, though. There's no.
Yeah, I know.
There's no precedent for a motherfucker running so fast that he's. No, I can't get on that one because we have seen them exist. We've seen them interact physically with each other. Him putting his hand on Bran, he's physically been there. So I have a little hard time there. I don't, and I think Kapua in the chat might be right. If anything, Bran's the opposite. I think this is more of a Matrix thing. The balance and the unbalance. I think if anything, it's more of like that, but it could be. I'm not counting anything out in Game of Thrones anymore.
Yeah. Right now, they really resemble each other and like facial features, and the empty and emotionless of Bran really echoes with the Night King.
I think that's stretching.
Yeah,
that's stretching.
That's stretching, but
Feels stretchy.
Probably.
Feels a little stretchy. I don't know. Vega, what do you think?
I don't know. What about that one?
Oh, you know what? There is one important thing. One's a cripple. He's a fucking cripple.
But he said he will fly. I mean, what's his name? I think, do we all have to admit that the three-eyed raven knew exactly when he was going to die?
Oh, yeah.
So I think somebody before had said that, Bran can only see into the past, he can't see into the future.
Yeah.
I think if the three-eyed raven, he's like, our time's running out, and making certain statements that makes you believe he knows exactly when he's going to die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why. Like, why would you make these statements unless you can have, some kind of vision into the future? Right. And maybe you're right. It might be a loop. So. And
that's what I think. I think that Bran is prepared, and I'm also thinking we're going to start seeing Bran's effects on the past in this next episode. I think we're gonna get a little bit of a Bran heavy episode. You showed a picture to me in the in our little Catch 33 chat, Vega. You want to tell everybody the picture that you showed?
Well, it was a Photoshop one.
Oh, it was photo. Oh, that wasn't real.
No, it wasn't real.
You asshole! You did.
Yeah.
You didn't tell
I didn't
me that.
Photoshop it. Somebody else did. Yeah, I think it was. I think Vanilla Rice was the one that got me with that one. He didn't get me. I knew it was a Photoshop, but I just the second I saw it, I was like, "What?" And then I noticed that it was Photoshop.
Man,
like,
he sent me a picture of fucking John in full Targaryen gear.
Yeah.
I came 4 times in about 10 seconds. You didn't tell me that was Photoshop. I don't have your eye. I don't know what's Photoshopped. Oh, man.
Also, just to touch on something, next week I think we're gonna have the game ball. But do you guys think that Brienne being there is gonna change shit?
With Clegane Ball?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Good.
You know what? You genius motherfucker. Maybe the Hound doesn't see the mountain and is like, oh, motherfucker. Maybe he sees Brienne, draws his sword, and is like, fuck this bitch. And then maybe him and Tormund get into it.
That'd be interesting.
That would actually make sense, though. That would actually play out where you would believe it,
Well, there's a lot that's going to get that could get the Hound reacting. I mean, there's a lot of people there that he's had interactions with that are not fucking favorable. So who knows what's going to get that motherfucker to draw a sword? I mean, literally anybody.
This is honestly the first episode where every single character that I think is alive today is going to be present in one single space.
Right.
Every
Right.
single important character on the planet that we've come to know and love is going to be talking.
Really, except for Littlefinger and Sansa. Yeah, Littlefinger and Sansa. I don't
Yeah,
think
who
are
gives
be
a shit about those two?
Well, Littlefinger, I'd like to see that would have been interesting, but he's got his own little shitty thing going on over back in Winter Hell, so I don't know. Yes, Winter Hell, bitches.
I do. I'm starting to dislike Arya a bit because I don't think she's being a rational assassin.
She's not being a rational assassin.
Yeah, I mean, you have to remember she is an assassin school dropout. You know, so I don't think she's. I don't
Lost
think
Grease
she's
soundtrack
actually,
right there. Assassin school dropout. Go back to school. Fuck. I love you, Tobes. By the way, what did you just call her? You don't think she was being a what? What assassin? What was the word you used?
A rational assassin.
That's a great fucking band name. Rational Assassin. Holy fuck.
Oh, that is a good band
That's a
name.
great band name. Holy fuck. Super dope. I'm sorry. Keep going.
I think she's. For some reason, I do think she's kind of in line with what Littlefinger is doing. Like, I think she's falling for it for some reason, mainly because she's very out of character in the past 2 episodes. It's I think mainly this is the weakest point in the writing of this season.
Ooh.
Is the conflict between Sansa and Arya. I think it's poorly written to the point where you dislike both characters at the end of the situation.
Yeah, no, I can see that to a point. I don't know if it's bad writing or if it's just there's something really convoluted happening. Because I think Vega might have been onto something with this whole Arya being Littlefinger thing. It could just be so convoluted that we just haven't been able to wrap our heads, so it feels like bad writing. But it could be bad writing as well, because this whole fucking story doesn't really seem to be doing much.
Yeah, I hope it ties into something bigger because, I haven't seen this sort of fluff in Game of Thrones before.
What's the sort of fluff?
Didn't lead to something.
Oh, not a sort of fluff. I thought there was some sort of gay reference that I didn't fucking know. I don't know what the fucking sort of fluff was. You said sort of fluff. Gotcha. Sort of fluff. Fuck me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, what the fuck's a sort of fluff? All right, good stuff. Anything else, Tobes?
Just one thing really quick. I've this thing's been annoying me all season, and I want to get your thoughts on it. Daenerys's hair is styled like a Dothraki, and the Dothraki, if you remember, her brother, he said when the Dothraki are not defeated, their hair is really long. So, do you think that after a defeat, she's gonna have short hair? That's just pointless, but I just really want to ask.
Vega, I refuse to answer this question. Go ahead. I refuse. I'm not answering.
Do you think that Dany's gonna have short hair if she gets defeated?
Yeah.
What was the question?
No, okay. Yeah, I know it's a pointless question, but it's like it's been bugging me all season, and it was like she has like longer hair than usual, and the Dothraki don't cut their hair unless they're defeated in battle, or the opponent cuts the hair of the Dothraki when they're defeated in battle. So, do you think she's going to suffer a defeat that is bad enough to where her hair gets cut short, maybe as a stylistic decision or by her own hand?
I'll say no, because they've already done it with Cersei, cutting Cersei's hair, going from flowing locks to short bob, and they probably don't want to make the same type of thing, even though it would make sense based off of some of the lore. But I think that's such a deep cut that no one's really going to catch it anyway. You're the one man, and it's only because you have you have certain qualities.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's going to be. I don't think that would be a thing.
Oh man,
I don't think that would be a thing.
It's fucking worst question ever, Tobes. What the fuck, man?
John, I'm sorry. It's been bothering me all season. I've been talking about this with my friends for a long time, and we're actually having like legit conversations about this. I just wanted to ask
What
you
the
guys
fuck?
about it.
Don't call in on the series finale. Don't bring this shit. What the fuck?
I'm not gonna bring this shit on the series
I'm
finale.
just kidding.
I promise that.
You know what? Hey, the frivolous is important too. Fuck it, man. Whatever gets you going. All right, Tobes. Anything else, buddy?
I like symbolism. That's all.
Sure. No, fair enough. Anything else? I want to get to the other callers.
No, thank you so much, Dave. I'm really enjoying the Game of Thrones reviews and the playlist. Your channel has been just like my go-to, like all day. I love it so much. Thank you for all the content you do.
We got something. We're bringing something new tomorrow as well. We got a brand new co-host entering the fray tomorrow. We're going to be going through all of the real deep cut, frivolous, crazy drama that's happening on YouTube, because I got the woman who is in all of it. She just tracks and stalks every YouTuber on the planet. Her name is Faye Douchebaggins on Twitter, and she is
Dude, Faye's awesome.
Yeah, she is the
Faye's
shit,
awesome,
and she's
yeah,
gorgeous
she is.
too, by the fucking way. And great talker. She'll be here tomorrow.
I
She's
wouldn't
alright.
know.
Yeah, let's not stroke her ego too much. Holy fuck. She'll be here each and every
She's okay.
Tuesday,
She's
and we're
okay.
gonna have a good time. So we're gonna bring even more shit starting tomorrow. Thank you for that, Tobes. I appreciate that.
All right. Good night, Dave. Love you.
I love you too. I'll see you next week. He's gonna take my butthole virginity. Talk to you later. He's really coming to Germany. I'm pretty sure he's gonna try and fuck me, Vega. I'm a little concerned.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm a little.
watch out now.
Yeah, he's gonna try and fuck me. I don't know. Depends on how much money he has. I might let him. All depends. Who do you want to take, Will Wood or Critical Mess?
I'm pretty sure Critical Mess was in here a while ago. I think
let's
I
get
can't
him.
remember which one was in here.
Let's get him. Critical Mess. Live Dead on Dave in Vega. Welcome to the review. What you got?
Well, I just want to say that I bloody told you about Beric Dondarrion.
Okay, you did. All right, you goddamn pretentious John fucking Oliver motherfucker. Yes, he did. Congratulations.
Like, the thing is about Beric Dondarrion, he's one of the only people to be brought back from the dead, and I knew that he'd be a fucking important character, though I didn't expect the fucking dragon to go down this episode. That was just incredible.
Dude, your voice is amazing.
He's John Oliver. I'm telling you, this is actually
Yeah.
legitimately John Oliver. I've been saying it for fucking months.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
Yes, I do have a YouTube channel.
What's your YouTube channel?
Nope.
It's Critical Mess, the greatest YouTube channel on the planet.
I think he has 9 subs. Yes.
305. Get it right.
He deserves a hell of a lot more, because listen to this voice. Isn't it fucking magic?
It is, dude. You have like a voiceover, like you're nailing that.
Nah, I have a full-time job in working in pensions. Fun as fuck. But back to Game of Thrones. Let's continue talking about that.
Yes, because pension talk, as riveting as it is, Game of Thrones. Yeah, all right. What else did you got from this episode?
I just think that like everything about it was just fucking incredible. Like the banter between all of these people who absolutely fucking hate each other, and they all just had to like survive together and fight off all these fucking White Walkers. I think my favorite person in the episode was the Hound, just lobbing those rocks at the Whites just to like. And just till he fucking realizes that the ice will not break if they come across. It just says, like, oh, just the look of, oh fuck, we're
The
all
Hound
dead.
is always a guy who realizes he's a cunt about 2 seconds too late. It's like, it's like every fucking time. And he realizes, he's like, oh, fuck, I did it again. I did it again. Please continue.
Though I do agree with you that like in this episode, like I even said to my friends after I finished watching it, like a lot of this stuff is like not stuff that you'd see George R.R. Martin writing.
Right.
Like the whole thing with like people surviving and the dragons coming in to save everyone. It's like that's something that Tolkien would write.
Right.
That's not something that George R.R. Martin would do. It's definitely something that kind of Dan and Dave have made themselves. And I don't know whether it's the right decision to do that. Like, sure, if George R.R. Martin was doing this, like at least 3 of them would have died,
Right.
and maybe all of them. Maybe just throw Jon Snow in there, just kill every single person in that expedition. Though at that point, you start running out of main characters,
Yeah.
and then you don't actually have any chemistry between anyone. So yeah,
hard
maybe it
to
was
do a show like that. It's hard to sell shirts like that too.
Yeah, it's like when you think about it, it's like so many characters have died.
Yeah.
There's just like so few people, and you said like in the next episode there's going to be all the characters there, and there just aren't that many of them.
No, not anymore. By the way, real quick, not to sidetrack at all, but for everybody who's crying over Game of Thrones with the leaked episode, stop fucking crying for HBO. They're fine. They're fucking fine. HBO.
Yeah, they probably just shrugged their shoulders and were like, whatever.
Everybody was talking. For one, leaks are not as bad. Economically, there have been so many research points onto this. It only hurts.
I'll research it right now.
There is a lot of fucking research points. This helps things. People were talking about this for a week, and I guarantee the numbers on this episode were fantastic regardless, okay? I rewatched it in high def because I wanted to watch it in high def, and I think a lot of people did as well. So don't cry for HBO. They're printing money. They're fine. Fuck.
This isn't the worst leak that's happened. I don't know whether it was I think it was either season 5 or 6 that 4 episodes were leaked.
You know, the funny thing is they should just do what a lot of the other companies are doing now anyway, just release the entire season. Stop going. The weekly's dead. Vega, am I wrong there? Should they continue to make people wait and do the weekly stuff, or sure, with a 7, 6, even 10 episode season, should they just give it all now?
I think if they make people wait, I mean, come on, man. They have to drag it out.
Really?
They have to. I want it. I want the whole thing now.
Yeah.
But I'm saying,
do you think it matters though?
Do you think? Well, they still have to shoot it.
Well, yeah, I mean, but once they I mean, it's like every other show that gives you the entire thing. I mean, Stars does it, where fucking Netflix does. They give you the entire season to binge at your leisure. They do the exact same thing.
Oh, you mean release the whole thing? Okay,
yeah, release the entire season as soon as it's all shot.
I would like that.
It's not a 22 episode season. They don't break it into halves. They shoot the entire season in one felt swoop. So why not release the motherfucker?
Shut up and take my money.
$1 donation by Super Tobes. The Hound is my favorite. Also, the Dragons are the Eagles of Westeros. Thank you very much for that, Tobes. Thank you very much for that. But yeah, I
would just say HBO might have on-demand kind of, services, but they try to operate like an actual channel.
Yeah.
Like it's just like John Oliver kind of deal, even though they kind of go by the seat of their pants every week. But if you were to do the same kind of thing, like every show, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, take away from, I guess, the experience too. Like you're gonna binge watch with 400 people or whatever the fuck.
I think people would. I think there's a lot of people who would binge that shit together.
I mean, the thing is, like, if you have a weekly show, then it gives people time to speculate about the next episode. Like this show right now,
it's an experience.
You wouldn't be able to do this show if like it all came out in one day. And like there are tons of YouTube channels exclusively make Game of Thrones content, and they like make weekly videos when the episodes come out, like speculating what's going to happen next and going through the episodes. And I feel like it kind of would remove something if they all just dumped at once.
Well, I mean, Stranger Things, a very, 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 very popular show. They have things that go like this, and that was a show that is dropped all at once. I get where you're coming from, and I agree with it to a point. I just think that there's ways around it. I don't know. I guess I'm just being a selfish little bitch. I want it all now. I'm tired of it. Tired of waiting.
Yeah, from a perspective like that, it's like, yes, I would like to watch every Game of Thrones episode as soon as possible. Like, yeah, I watched the leak one as soon as I know it was out. But it's just the whole thing. Like, I think it does take away from it if like you're watching it all at the same time, because like there's just so much discussion around the episodes.
Fair enough.
I don't know. It depends what you really want.
No, fair enough. I think that there's a good enough reason to keep it the way it is. I just wanted to throw that out there. Anything else, Mr. Miss?
I don't think I can wait another year.
I bet you can. I bet you can. Though.
You will. You'll wait. You'll wait.
Yeah, but like apparently I've heard like it's gonna actually come out near the end of 2018. It's just like, oh, for fuck's sake! Like, we waited so long for this series. It's only 6 episodes.
I'm pretty sure it's been worth it. Now
it's
that we're
worth
here,
it, but it's still so painful, man. I mean, like. You want to talk about really excruciating? We're not going to get anything until November of next year, which is a month.
God.
I've heard.
Is it November?
I've heard that be speculating. I don't know if it's true. I've heard multiple different months, but I don't know, man. It worries me. It's because I'm fat. I could die at any time. It's terrifying to me. I keep losing weight. Fuck. All right, Miss. Anything else, bud?
That's it. I can't wait for the finale. I won't watch it at night, seeing as I have to get up on Mondays. But yeah, it's just I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Hopefully, a load of people die.
There you go. Critical Mess wants the world to burn. Thanks a lot, buddy. Great call.
See ya. Have a good one.
Let's bring in Will Woot. Final call of tonight. It looks like Will Woot live with Dead on Dave and Lord Vega. What do you got? Welcome to the recap.
What's up, boys? I love the show.
Thanks, man.
Sweet. I wanted to say a couple of things. First, I think Dave, you mentioned that you think that the three-eyed raven might be Bran, the loop. In the books, at least, that guy is a Targaryen.
Very true, but they've gone away from books so much on the show where I don't think it matters. But no, you are right. In the books, they are very clear the three-eyed raven is a Targaryen.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were aware.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up. I thought it was going to fucking blow your mind. That's annoying.
No, Vega doesn't believe in the books.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start binging the audiobooks.
Really?
I have a lot of editing to do. Yeah, I'm going to start binging the audiobooks because I was convinced by those people last night to do it. So
it's about fucking time, dude. You're going to hear, I bet you Clown reads all those, but the audio is going to be done by Clown. And you're going to be like, what?
I'm not sure. Did he? Yeah, he did read the books, huh?
He did, but I bet he did the audio versions. He was just like in the middle of it, mid-chapter, you're just going to hear.
What I'll do is I'll read it, and then I'll read it back to myself.
Critical Mass
listen.
the audiobooks.
I will fucking read it. That wasn't good. He says Critical Mess probably should read them. Yeah, I'd listen to him.
He's got a good voice.
He's got a great voice. I agree. What else you got for us, Will Woot?
I wanted to bring up as well, you were saying earlier in the show about how the ravens work and stuff like that, and I wanted to kind of discuss that and pick your brains a bit, because in my head it kind of works do they have, because they can't just kind of go up, pick up a raven and say a random one and say fly to King's Landing with this thing, can they? They have to have a specific raven that was raised in that land so it knows geographically where to go, right?
Yes, I believe that's how it works. How they train pigeons nowadays. I don't know. Mike Tyson could tell you a lot more than I could. Vega, do you know anything on the inner workings of how they train carrier pigeons and ravens?
I have no idea.
Damn, I was really hoping that was part of your fucking super special goddamn training that I didn't get.
No. I mean, I would say common sense would be ravens don't know where you want them to go.
Yeah.
So I would assume that a raven would know to go to King's Landing, but that's the only raven that knows to go there. And if not, you throw a raven in the sky, it's not they're going to be you don't look at a raven in your hands. It's hey, I need you to go to Pike. And then you throw it in the air and it just travels off to fucking, wherever the fuck it wants,
More than likely it's where it was raised, and then you take it to a location and it just flies back home. More than likely.
Yeah, that's how I kind of
like that,
it works. Yeah. Because then that's why they can just take a whole flock of ravens and then just pick the right one, and then they'd also have to write the note that it would carry as well.
Well, they could have took a raven that was at Dragonstone with them, and they could have done that, but
yeah, right, actually, yeah, completely. That's fair. I didn't even think of that.
But tactically, Vega was 100% right. There's no way it would have worked. You don't bring a squawking bird because more than likely you're gonna eat that motherfucker. If it gets cold enough, you eat it. Fuck them. Eat the bird.
Yeah.
What else?
I'd say there's more things that would have went wrong than right.
More problems.
You would brought it just to kind of. I would have launched that shit as soon as that bear showed up.
Right.
I was like, yo, get that raven out of here. Get that thing back, Sadie. We got dead bears up here. Fuck this shit.
I didn't know we were gonna be running into dead bears. Fuck this,
dude.
Danny.
You know what's crazy too? I think another reason why I think it was planned is because we didn't see a single giant, nothing.
Right.
So he must have just been hanging out. We don't need all that shit. They don't know that they have dead giants.
Nope, they don't.
We do. So I think he kind of had everybody held back, kind of one of those, okay, dragons are coming. Let's just kind of chill out.
Right, because there was no big guns that were on the battlefield for the Night King. No, that's a really good point, actually. He just had pawns. He just had regular whites. So that was actually pretty smart. I think you got that shit cracked.
I want to see the spiders that they're meant to ride.
Yeah, the pale spiders. I can't wait for that shit.
That's gonna be sick. Jesus.
Big as dogs or some bullshit.
It's fucking dogs.
As big as hounds.
Big as fucking dogs. My God. All right, Will. What else you got for us? Anything else?
Nah. I'm good. I'm just can't wait for the season finale, like Mess was saying and all.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. I appreciate the call, man. Thanks for calling in, bud.
No worries, buddy. Have a good one.
Good stuff. Well, there you go. Hour and 40 fucking minutes, Vega. Good Lord.
Dude, you could talk, I told you last night we were talking about this bitch for fucking 3 hours, I think it was.
Game of Thrones is life. Anything we missed? Anything else you want to end the show on? Anything at all?
Danny's my baby mama.
I'm telling you, man. Jon Snow would fuck you up, though. You ain't giving that up.
I think it's gonna go very wrong at the at the meeting. I think it's gonna go very badly.
That's the big prediction. You think something bad is going? What? Give us specific. Give us one prediction of something bad that you think. Who's dying? Give me something.
I think Cersei's gonna get everything fucked. She's not gonna give two shits about that thing that they brought with them. They're not gonna care one iota, and she is going to backstab the fuck out of everybody in there. That's what I think is gonna happen. Now, I don't know exactly how it's going to happen. I just think that that's going to be the case because I think she just doesn't care.
You might be right.
I think she's trying to deal with one threat at a time, and she knows for a fact that this one exists. And even with a dead body here, she doesn't know these people from piss to shit.
No.
So she can't trust a word anybody says, and she doesn't care.
No, she wants everybody to fucking die. You know, she wants everybody to perish. She doesn't give a shit about anything else. Remember, this is the woman who basically told Jamie to punish Bronn. To punish Bronn. So it's interesting. I don't know. I think you might be right. She's gonna do something stupid. I also think that there's a possibility, outside possibility, but a possibility nonetheless. Cersei might not live through next week's episode. That would be great. Both of the potential brothers that are part of the prophecy to kill her will be there. If you believe that Tyrion is a Lannister. I don't know. I don't know. I got a feeling. Cersei,
I was actually going to mention that when is Cersei was one of my reasonings is when is Cersei going to have the opportunity of all those people being all her enemies right there in her backyard? When is that going to happen again?
It won't.
You know, it's like for her anyway, in her mind. So I think that's, and she, she would rather take them prison. And we saw Theon Greyjoy is going to be there.
It's never good when Theon's around. It's always bad. It's always bad.
What a cunt.
There you go.
Well, anyway, yeah.
Oh yeah. Are we going to get a Euron action next week? Woof. Whoosh.
His ships were there in the trailer, but I didn't see him in the trailer really. So
we got to get one more Euron, one more this season. We'll see. I don't know. There you go, Vega. Tell the kids where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at the Lord Vega, or on YouTube on YouTube at just Lord Vega after youtube.com/Lord Vega, and then from there you should be able to find all my links.
There you go. Most of his information is in the description box below. Make sure you check him out. One of the most talented men on fucking YouTube today. Go check him out. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with us for another recap. We'll see you next week. We'll let you know exactly what's going on. Not 100% sure, but we'll figure it out, and we're going to do it big. Game of Thrones season finale next week. We'll see you then. Thank you very much. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Show that you care. Keep it copious, folks. Remember, as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. Fuck, I got the wrong outro. Shit. All right, hold on. Wait, that's the wrong one. That's the Pokemon one. Here's the real one. Peace.